We've been threatening one another with this for a couple of years, it feels like. Terry McLaurin in studio with us. I'm grateful that you took the time to come in. It's a home game, at least. You're local, but we saw each other at an event feels like it was 2 years ago. Maybe it was last year. We just said, hey, come on in and come through and let's have a conversation. And now post-OTAs, we get our opportunity. Thank you for coming in.
Scott, I appreciate you for having me. Like, since I've been a young kid, I've loved SportsCenter, especially you. And I remember our first interview was after a Eagles game, and I was like, I want to come in. I know you want to talk to me, but I want to come in and hang out with you. So I appreciate your time.
Well, we're local, and anytime you want to come through, we're happy to talk a little bit of football. And post-OTAs with what's going on with the team, it felt like that was our on-ramp for this conversation. Yeah. New coach, new GM, new quarterback, and Jayden Daniels got a lot of excitement coming in with a Heisman Trophy, and you know, in the area, people are like, let's go. They're ready to buy in.
Yeah.
What have you seen? I know in the bubble, you know, in shorts, it's the same thing as in the snow in Philadelphia in January, but you get a glimpse. What have you seen from the young man?
I think the first thing that stood out to me about Jayden Daniels is the poise he came into the first day in the building. By the time the rookies got there, we pretty much had 4 or 5 installs in. And I think Coach Kingsbury did a great job of trying to integrate everybody at the same time. So when the rookies got there, we started from ground one, but it seemed like he knew the entire offense when we got there. He's in there calling the huddles through the walkthroughs. He's in there calling the plays, and he's extremely confident. And it's a testament to his preparation and his studying that he did on his own. But also, I just think the kid loves ball, and he has a good feel for the game. So I think he really came in with the right mindset and energy, and guys are already gravitating to him.
It's really difficult in this league for rookies at this position to have success. Although C.J. Stroud, where did he go to school?
Ohio State.
The Ohio State University. He came in, and we talked to him about that last year. He's a young man leading a group of grown men, and he was fantastic. To give a rookie at that position the best chance to be successful quickly, Terry, what do you feel like you all have to do?
Honestly, I think a big part of it comes from the makeup of that quarterback. To be honest, I think I have a history with C.J. Stroud, just knowing him and getting to know him and what he's made up of and the adversity he went through at Ohio State, and it built him for what he was ready for now. And I think Jayden Daniels has a similar story to where he started out at Arizona State, goes to LSU, has a good first year, but that second year he takes off, man, and he wins the Heisman. He has them in contention for the playoffs, and he's just used to winning and used to what it looks like to be a really successful player. And as a leader and as his wide receiver, I always just want to be the best player I can for him. So I'm going to push him. I know he's going to push me, but I think you don't have to tell him what to do when it comes to practice. Like, he's out there early, he's getting warmed up, and if he doesn't like a rep that went down in practice, he's like, hey, Terry, let's come over here, let's get this rep again.
Run it back?
And run it back. And I think that's a testament to his work ethic and how he tries to prepare each and every day in practice, because he treats every practice and every rep like it's a game rep situation.
As one of the top wideouts in the league, obviously you want to try to create that bond and that chemistry with this young guy. I've been reading about that, putting in this work. How important is that? Just very quickly, just to get an idea, him for you and you for him, so that when we get to September and you play Tampa Bay to start your season, like, you all are on that same page. What goes into that?
Honestly, I think it first starts to get to know the person, and him and we got to talk when he got drafted, and we've gotten to get to know each other over this off-season time. And
so it's important, excuse me for interrupting, but just knowing the human being just before you, and like, the football's the football, but just getting to have that vibe as human beings?
Yes, 100%, because I think with any line of work that you're in, it's still about the people. It's still about the connection. It's still about getting to know one another, the person that you're going to be going to work with, or in our case, you're going to battle. You know what I mean? And you got to know, he has to be able to trust I'm going to be where I'm going to be when he needs me to be there. Like, I'm going to be on this spot. I'm not going to cut my depth short. I'm not going to fade away on an in cut and let the DB undercut me. Like, he has to trust that I'm going to do my job, and I have to trust that he's going to do his. And I think that really starts when you get to know someone, because you get to learn what they're about. You get to learn their whys and why they put the time and the effort into what they're doing. And then it's honestly easier when you have that connection to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, we don't take any conversation that we have in our building amongst teammates personal, because we know our brothers are looking out for us, and they just want the best for not only us but the entire team. So I think he exudes that, and our personal relationship, I think, is really going to help us and our entire group as we go forward.
I told you about my guy Tim Legler. His one must moving forward is that you must get the ball that first series, and you can tell your quarterback that, and you can tell your new coach and your new OC Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury. 1-7 needs to be getting the ball steady on the regular from the jump.
Yeah.
What's different about? I mean, it's all different, but in terms of being a new head coach, a new OC, and what is the most important thing to try to establish? Everyone's going to say build culture. Where does that start?
I think it starts with the message from our coaching staff. And I think Coach Quinn, the first few days we came in, we didn't really talk about X's and O's. We talked about getting to know one another. We talked about the connection between players and why we're all in here and how do you get all these guys from different walks of life. We have coaches, Coach Lynn, who's been a head coach, to Coach Kingsbury, who's been a head coach. We got so much experience. Bobby Wagner, we got a gold jacket walking in our building. You know what I mean? So it's like so many different elements that make up a team, but the foundation is built through the work that you put in each and every day. So we've had that training and time to spend with one another since things got started.
I think of you still as a young man because you are, but I see a 6 next to your name. You've been around for a bit.
Yeah.
And you've been, frankly, through some struggles. Not you, this team. We know what it's been. We know that you guys are just trying to find that traction that leads to the trajectory. How do you give these guys a bit of grace and patience?
Yeah.
And at the same time, like, look, I'm running out of time here to be patient. I want to win now. How do you balance that?
Honestly, I think I try to stay in my process. And I think when I was young, like, you look around guys in the league and your peers, you're like, man, I could do what they're doing. You know what I mean? And I think people can't necessarily appreciate as a receiver. I feel like you play probably one of the most dependent. It's one of the most dependent positions on the field because from the play calling to you have to be able to know what you're doing and get open, and the offensive line has to do their job, quarterback and all those things. But I think for me, I've really gotten comfortable being uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I don't try to stress who's going to be back there at quarterback, but just knowing that I'm going to be prepared when my number is called. And so it's kind of like a no excuse mentality where all those things are factors in their pieces to the puzzle, but I'll never hang my hat and use that as an excuse from the unpredictability it's been at times.
I feel like your position is one where a healthy bit of ego is required.
Yeah.
When you look at these numbers right here, and you look at the dudes that you're on that list with, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill, you. 75 and $1,000 each of the last 4 seasons. That speaks to a high level of high achievement and consistency. Folks might not know that that you'd be the answer, that you're number 4 on that list.
100%.
What kind of fuel does that provide? It's a team sport, but you play a very individual position. So I just wonder what the motivation was there.
Definitely. I think the balance is knowing, like, I feel like when I'm involved in the game, in the not only my level of play that I bring to our team, but the energy and the leadership. And when I make a play, I feel like not only our team feels it, but the whole building feels it. Like, I've been in games where I can hear the fans, Terry, because I haven't got the ball yet. And I love that support, and I just try to be ready when my number is called. And you want to be looked at as one of the top receivers in the league. I don't play this game not only not for the money and not for the notoriety, but I play to win championships and be the best at my craft. And I'm making sure that I put the time and work in so I'm prepared for those moments. But at the same time, knowing that I have to be able to raise my level of play and bring other guys along with me if we're going to be successful. And I think our coaching staff has done a great job of keeping things simple. We haven't overcomplicated anything this offseason. We've gotten to know each other, and the offense has really been installed in a way where guys can be on the same page and really start to grow from the ground up. And I just want to be that catalyst for our team in the locker room, on the field, and off the field, because that's who I prepare to be each and every day. That's who I feel like I was born to be.
This is a low-hanging fruit question, but I'm sincerely interested in the answer. Success for the Washington Commanders this year.
Yeah.
What's that in your mind as we talk in the middle of June? What's that look like? What feels like a reasonable thing to say, look, we can take a step and do this?
Yeah. Honestly, and I'm not going to even go into record because
I'm not asking you that.
Yeah, and there's so many things I feel like that go into that people don't appreciate. I think that's the standard in which people look at their record. But I think Offensively, you'll see an offense this year who's playing with a lot of energy, who's playing together, who's playing unbelievable without the ball. If I were to show you our practice clips, you see guys who don't have the ball running down the field to get a block. That's been an emphasis from Cliff and our entire offensive staff. And we've seen some other teams, San Francisco, to mention one of them, they play great without the ball. And I think that's a testament to the unselfishness that you have to have success as an offense. There's only one ball that could go around, but if you got guys who are playing hard without the ball in their hand, and when they do have the ball in their hand, they're protecting it, they're making cuts, they're trying to do something with it, you're going to have success. And defensively, it's been tough going against them in the spring so far, even though we ain't got pads on, because they're tenacious. And I think Coach Witt and obviously Coach Quinn, they're emphasizing turnovers. So you got guys flying all over the field, getting picks, trying to punch the ball out. It's just a tenacity that I feel like that we possibly missed in the past that I feel like is really there. Right. And when you got guys focused on one mission, who have the connection that I feel like we're building, who have the practice and the work ethic and the good habits we're trying to form in this time, and then you got guys going out there who love football and love to compete, I think you have a chance to be successful. So I think those foundational pieces that may not show up on the wins-loss score, but it definitely adds to the bigger puzzle. So I think if we continue doing those things as we go into this offseason, you're trusting everybody's going to do their job and be ready to come back for camp. And so we can get this thing rolling.
I wish for you, first and foremost, good health to continue building on this remarkable career that you're in the process of writing. And then second, we're all from somewhere and I'm from here. And there are a whole lot of folks like me that have just been waiting waiting to jump back on that bandwagon and see Washington get back to where they've been in the past. You make it real easy to root for, man. Congrats on the success and good luck this year.
I appreciate it, Scott. I'm looking forward to the season. I think you're going to see a great Commanders team this year.
Terry McLaurin.